Welcome back, Father Bosco. Father Bosco is back in the United States for a couple weeks. Making a little pit stop from Birmingham, Alabama, where he's teaching, to Brunswick, Ohio. Great to have you back, Father Bosco. How many of you watched the planetary parade the other night? Does anybody know about this? What's the planetary parade? So long story short, very, very, very rare. 7 of the planets were in perfect alignment. And it was an absolutely spectacular sight. We couldn't see it in Northeast Ohio because of the clouds, but if you go online, you can see it. Absolutely spectacular when all these planets were, 7 of the planets were perfectly aligned. And it was impressive. It reminded me how spectacular, how majestic is God's universe. And in God's universe, there's a thing called natural law. That if we look at God's creation, if we look at God's universe, we can learn a lot. So, spectacular when everything is aligned to God. We saw that in the planetary parade. The gospel today also teaches us natural law. There are deep, eternal truths, natural law. So, for example, apple trees get you apples. Very good. Pear trees get you pears. An apple tree can never get you a pear, can it? No, it's natural law. Good trees get you what kind of fruit? And rotten trees get you what kind of fruit? You can all pass the course in natural law. Fair to say, Father Bosco? Right? And there are eternal truths that are packed into the mystery of God's majestic, incredible universe. We see that in the way that the planets were aligned. And how spectacular when we are aligned with God. So the gospel today, apple trees get you, and you know the tree by and actions, our actions and the words we speak do not lie. So what we choose to do and the words that we use communicate what's going on deep in our hearts. Whether we want to admit it or not, whether we want to take ownership for it or not, that's a whole different question. But apple trees get you. Good trees get you what kind of fruit? Get the idea? As we get ready for Lent, 3 big thoughts for the week. Number 1, look at your actions and listen to your words. They do not lie. You may not like what they say, but they do not lie. So celebrate what is good, right, loving, and holy. And really identify for yourself, what are the words, what are the actions, what do they say about what's going on deep in your heart? It's a great pre-Lent reflection as we become mindful of what we should be working on to be holier, healthier, happier people in the pattern of Jesus. Secondly, St. Augustine actually followed natural law. He's one of the great preponderance of it, right? And he said this, you are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but Lent, 40 days, is the time to prepare and to embrace new habits. New habits of the heart, new habits of spiritual disciplines so that you can be holier, healthier, and happier. What are the habits? The habits of God, the spiritual habits that you need to take on so that you can be more like Jesus Christ. And thirdly, the planetary parade is a perfect reminder that when we all align ourselves with God, what comes next is glorious and majestic. How do we use these 40 days for ourselves, but especially for our families, to align our families one right with the Lord our God. And I'll give you a practical suggestion. Almost every Christian in the world knows that Ash Wednesday is an important day. Almost every Christian in the world desires, if you will, to come and be marked with ashes on Ash Wednesday. Invite your family to join you on Ash Wednesday to enter into the Lenten journey. It may be a small thing, but every study shows, every survey shows that almost every Christian knows that they should do something on Ash Wednesday. So how do you invite them to join you as a step, if you will, to help them and to help your family align your heart, your home in the Lord your God? And here's where we should find our strength. It's from the second reading. When we stay steadfast, when we stay firm in the Lord, nothing that we will do for these 40 days will be in vain. That is God's promise. Listen to your words, look at your actions. All of us have work we need to do in the season of Lent. Amen? What are the habits, spiritual habits, that you need to take on to be holier, happier, healthier in the Lord your God? And thirdly, look at the picture. There was majesticness when everything was aligned right in God. Knowing that if you use these 40 days and align your heart and your home with God, the blessings that will come this Easter will be more majestic than even the planetary parade.